Episode 169 of Standing Out. Let's go. What's up, everybody? Trey Griggs here, Beta Consulting Group. You are here for episode 169 of Standing Out, the daily podcast about sales, marketing, and leadership. Super excited to have you with us today. We've got a great show ahead in just a little bit. It's Technovations Week, everybody. Listen, if you're a freight broker out there, it's not too late, especially if you are in the Phoenix area. You can sign up and attend Technovations, which is going to be an awesome event. It starts tomorrow night at the JW Marriott Desert Ridge in Scottsdale, Arizona. You can go to tianet.org and click on meetings, and you can still sign up to come and see us. Going to be some of the best technology in the industry, particularly for freight brokers. Super excited about that. And we're going to be recording live. We've been going live on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday on all of our shows. So it's going to be a blast. We'll give some behind the scenes look at what's happening and all that. So it's going to be wonderful. Make sure you join us either online for the shows, or again, if you're in Phoenix or anywhere drivable to Phoenix, go ahead and sign up and come down there, and we'll see you in Phoenix at Technovations 2022. Going to be the best technology conference in logistics this year. Super excited about that. Also, want to give you a heads up on some things that are happening. We've got the Iron Minds Tough Mudder Charity Challenge coming up here in just about, 4 days. I went on a 4-mile run this morning, so I don't know if I'm ready or not, but we're going to be ready and go after it and get it done. So super excited about that. We're going to be raising some money for charity. My charity of choice is Souk Strong. I'm going to be putting that out on social this week, creating an event. So we're going to get you some information about that. We'd love for you to donate, especially if you're in the St. Louis area, because that's an organization that helps ALS patients right here in St. Louis. So we're super excited about that. 9 miles, 30 obstacles. We'll see how it goes. All right. Also want to give a shout out to our sponsor, the TAFs, the good guys in freight factoring. They are helping carriers and owner operators keep those wheels turning with cash flow resources, discounts on fuel, tires, all kinds of great things. And so make sure you check them out at tafs.com, or even easier than that, just click on the link that's going to be in the comments today. That takes you right to my landing page, so they know that I sent you and you can get started with them immediately. Whether you're a carrier, owner operator, small fleet carrier, or a freight broker, you should reach out to TAFs and start working with them. For a freight broker, you can become a referral partner because you work with carriers all the time. So make sure that your carriers have all the resources they need to really thrive out there and keep those wheels turning for you. And by the way, if you're behind the wheel of a truck, thank you. We appreciate everything that you are doing. You're the heroes of the supply chain, keeping this economy going. I know it's a lot of sacrifice being away from home, and not necessarily an easy job in any way. So thank you so much for that. We appreciate that. All the drivers that are out there. My dad was a truck driver, man. It's in the bones, in the blood. All right, everybody. Time to bring on our guest today. We've had a great lineup all week. Kind of a mix and match lineup. We were supposed to have Nate Laurie on today. We're going to have him on in February. He's going to be back. So we'll get him back on the program today. So we got a pinch hitter today. Super excited to bring him on. And we're going to have some great shows the rest of the week. So he's with 3PL Systems, one of the new sponsors for the Word on the Street. Had the chance to really get to know this guy over the last 3 months, and it's been awesome. Super excited today to talk about sales, because that's what he's all about. So please welcome the director of sales from 3PL Systems, my good friend, Michael Sternberg. Michael, what's up, man?
Hey, Trey, what's going on?
Welcome to the show. You said you were a hip hop guy, so I got a little Nas background music on here for you. This is just for you, right? So
yeah, you had that nice Biggie intro too, so I appreciate it.
I did. I got that, and then I forgot that I hadn't closed my door yet, and so I had to run and do that. So ran back into the seat real quick. Just barely made it, but we're here. It's great. Hey, man, it's so good to have you on the show. Take just a moment and tell a little bit about yourself and about what is good at 3PL.
Sure. So I've been here at 3PL for just a little bit over 6 years. Been in revenue generating roles the whole time. Started as like an inside sales rep, went to a business development manager, and now, sitting at a director level role, heading up most, if not all, of the revenue generating activities for the company here. Outside of work, I'm a husband. I'm a father. I got 2 kids. I got a 7-year-old daughter, and my son turns 4 in December. And done with kids. Live out here in sunny Southern California. It's cold
don't talk about
this
it.
morning.
Yeah,
it's
whatever.
cold. it was 53 degrees. So I had to like put on pants and a sweatshirt. So
that's actually colder than it is here right now. And you can see the rain in the background today. We got a rainy day today, which is nice. No sun pouring in. So I decided to open the windows, but I would definitely take that sunshine any day of the week. Are you native Southern California?
Yeah, born and raised out here between like LA County and Orange County. Currently live in Huntington Beach.
So you really have no idea what life is like for the rest of us in the country.
No, I am married. I'm married to a girl from the Midwest, from Ohio, and she tells me all the time that I have no idea how blessed I am to have grown up with this weather, because I've never lived, let's say, I don't know, more than 15 miles from the beach, and to me, it's just normal. So I don't know, everyone probably hates me right now, so I probably shouldn't have said that. But
well, I'm being from Missouri, being from the Midwest, I'm not a beach person. I like to go to the beach to watch and to listen to the sound. I don't really like the sand. I'm not a sand guy. Sand is just filthy and dirty, especially with little kids. So not a huge fan of the beach in that regard. But maybe if I lived on it for a while, I might change my mind a little bit. So you've been in sales pretty much your entire career for the most part. And I've been working your way up, obviously, through the ranks and now leading the sales efforts at 3PL Systems. What was it like when you first started in sales? Like, what was the thing that jumped out at you and you went, yeah, I love this. This is it for me.
Oh, man. Well, so here, I'll go back to the beginning. So I cut my teeth in sales going door-to-door residential.
Yes, I knew it. Yes.
So I was, hey, you want to sponsor a kid for like less than $1 a day? It's like $28 a month. And knocking about, I don't know, 100 doors a day. And those 100 doors you hit like 3 or 4 times, right? So cutting my teeth in that way and learning how to sell something that's really, you're not even selling a product. I mean, it's a straight donation.
They get nothing back.
Yeah. You're selling an emotion and at best a tax write-off. I mean, those are really the only two, I don't even call them tangible, but things of value that you're selling. And I think a lot of salespeople would agree with this. It's the thrill of closing your first sale. You never stop chasing that high, right? And so once I realized, like, damn, that feels really good, because I just got metaphorically a door slammed in my face at the last 80 doors. And on the 81st door, that guy was super cool. And I would been out in the sun all day. He said yes. And I was making crap money at the time. I mean,
oh, sure. Yeah, door to door is not a way to make a great living.
$28 a month sponsorship of a child. You're not getting commission on it, right? But the thrill alone, the feeling of accomplishment, the feeling to know, like, hey, I went out and knocked 100 doors, and I could tell I've done it as well. Like, it sucks. Frankly, it sucks.
It's brutal.
There is a level of learning that I don't think you can get anywhere else. So that was really what kind of hooked me with sales. Started figuring out, hey, I need to sell something that's worth more, that costs more, so I can make more. So I went into copier sales, sold copiers business to business, did the same thing, but cold calling businesses, knocking doors, suited up with like a briefcase and, looking like I was in the 80s. And then said, I need to get into tech, and landed at 3PL about 6 years ago, like I said, and don't have any intention of leaving anytime soon. Tell you that.
That's the wisest decision that you've made in your sales career so far, is getting into tech sales, because that's the best way to go doing it. I would agree with you on that. Door to door, I did office supplies door to door for 15 months. And it was brutal, and I think that everybody who's done door to door would say a couple of things. First of all, they'd say they're glad they went, but they hope they never have to go back. Hope you have to go back and do that again. But then the second thing is, like you said, you learn more in that experience than any other way out there. If anybody wants to get into sales, my advice literally is go get a door-to-door sales job for 6 months and see how you do. And if you can handle that, if you can learn how to do that, if you can make some money, and you're not going to make a lot, you got to know. I took a step back. I was a teacher, and I made less money in door-to-door sales than I did as a take a step back. But I learned some great skills there that have helped in my career in a tremendous way that I wouldn't have otherwise. Like, I would not have.
Sure.
So I think the skills that you learn of how to talk to anybody, how to mirror your customer, how to close, how to read buying signals, all these different little skills and things for sales, you pick them up in a hurry in door-to-door, or you are out.
Oh yeah.
It's shipped out.
Oh yeah.
Somebody came and left, I felt more confident about what I was doing. And I'm sure you kind of felt the same way in that regard.
Oh yeah.
Talk a little bit about tech sales, and particularly TMS sales, because in our industry, TMS is the foundation and the bedrock technology for a freight broker. I mean, it is what everything is or should be built on, which makes it a really important decision. And it's usually a somewhat costly decision because, it's a big investment. So the sales cycles tend to be, a little bit longer. What is it about this particular sale, this product that, really kind of fits who you are and has helped you become successful?
Sure. So I wouldn't necessarily say it fit who I was at first. I think it's more of something that I've learned and I've adjusted to. As with anything, especially in sales, you better be constantly learning and adjusting, or else you're going to get left behind, right? So, but as you mentioned, it's a much more consultative type of sale. When I was getting kid sponsored, I have a 1-minute pitch. Give me your credit card, and
I'm
you're going to
leaving
sign up,
soon.
and I'm gone. Yeah, and I'm done, right? So, with TMS sales, I mean, I'll have deals that take 3 years. That's not an exaggeration. I'll have deals that take, a month. I'll have deals that take 2 weeks, and kind of everywhere in between. But for me, kind of systemizing it a little bit has helped. And if you look at the different stages and what my objectives are, is I have obviously top of funnel, you have middle funnel, and then you have, the bottom of your funnel, right? And the top of funnel, the rest of it doesn't matter if you can't do the top of funnel well. And really all that is how do I stay top of mind? How do I let people know who the hell I am and what the hell 3PL system does, so that when they're in the market, they can reach out to me, or maybe I catch them at a time that they're in the market. But if nobody knows who you are, nobody knows what you do, being good at demoing, being good at discovering, being good at closing, none of that matters, right? And so really the objective when I first started here, being from a cold calling background, all I did was give me your list and your CRM. And I just started calling everybody, right? I just called every single person. I knew nothing about the industry. I knew squat about the product, but everybody was going to hear my voice. They were going to know there's some Mike guy over at 3PL Systems, and he calls me every 3 months to check on me. But you know what? He's a decent guy, and I hear his voice. And those people have come back around sometimes, man. I got to give you a chance. We're in the market. You called me 5 times over the last 18 months. You weren't rude any of the time. You were quick. You were to the point. But you know what? You sound like you at least want to have a conversation. So that top of funnel, and really, for me, it's been learning how to do that in a different way now. So being more active on LinkedIn, coming on podcasts like this with you, being more active at trade shows, other avenues where I can improve the way that I stay top of mind for people, or that 3PL system stays top of mind for people, has been a big focus.
Yeah. I mean, essentially you're doing marketing. And this is why I love marketing so much, because you got to be out there and putting your message out there, letting people know what you do, who you are, what your culture is, because all that's going to frame subconsciously their decision to reach out when they're ready, or to respond when you do call in a positive way. It all goes into it, right? And so even though you're in sales, making those calls just so they hear your voice, and now you're doing on LinkedIn, and now coming on the podcast, and all that goes, this is why sales and marketing is one department, because it all works together to bring attention and interest for a buyer who's ready, to buy. And I love it, man. I love the fact that you're doing that, that you're moving that direction. Yeah.
And the second piece of the whole, way TMS sales are structured, I think a lot of people maybe don't do the right way. And it's something that I'm still getting better at, but I know I'm a lot better than I was before. It's really running an effective discovery, and really going past surface level pain points and getting into the real impact and the root causes of those, and really doing a true, what I'll call a business health analysis. And that's all part of a good discovery. Now, again, if people don't know who you are, if they can't find you, then you're not even going to have those conversations.
Get that. That's right.
But what a lot of people, I think, forget is you're not having a discovery call. You're not having a sales conversation. You're having a business conversation, right? And being able to kind of get through those layers to the real business issues gives you a level of trust with your prospect that they're going to say, you know what? This guy Mike at least knows what he's talking about. He understands my business just as much, if not more, than his product. And then that falls into your demo that can become now relevant because it's in the context of the discovery that you've done, right? So as an example, talk to someone that says, we're using carrier websites for LTL rating, and we have 10 carriers, and we go on all 10 carrier websites to pull rates. We don't have a consolidated way of doing it. Okay. First tier issue. Well, what's the second tier to that? You're wasting X amount of time per load when you're rating it. And what's the impact of that is you move X amount of loads less per day, which means you have call it $10,000 a day in lost revenue, right? So you start here, but to a business owner, $10,000 a day in lost revenue is the issue. It's
Right.
not the LTL rating engine. It's not the lost time. It's not the real impact. The real business issue is a $10,000 a day in lost revenue. So when you get to the demo stage, you're selling to that. You're not selling to this. You're selling to this, if that makes sense.
I love that. Yeah, no, it makes a ton of sense. And TMS sales in particular, again, it's so critical because it's really the foundation for what a freight broker is going to do. What are some of the biggest challenges that you found? Because I know that there's a lot of legacy TMS platforms out there that are pretty expensive, and I know that a lot of them too. Like, it makes it difficult for brokers to leave. It makes it difficult to migrate and transition. I know that's a big issue. But what are some of the biggest challenges that you've seen around companies making that decision to move over to 3PL or just to change their TMS in general?
Sure. So there's a couple big ones. I think, you mentioned all the legacy providers, and the issue with TMS in general is that it's so sticky by the nature of how much it touches every aspect of a freight brokerage, right? That I've had people tell me, look, we love your product. Even if it was half the cost and improved our efficiency 3x, I'm not willing to do anything because I have 300 people that are trained on this system and I don't want to deal with the change management, right? And at that point, obviously, I put up my hands, I go to the next one, but that's not uncommon. Now, the flip side of that is, for us, retention numbers are high because, to the same note, people don't want to leave 3PL systems. We obviously, I'd like to think, do a good job at servicing our clients and providing them updates to the software. But there is a certain level of give that TMS providers have because switching is hard, right? And so it really comes back to how much value can you really build based on the true business issue again, right? Outside of that, a lot of people, the biggest things that they won't want to switch is, say, what happens with all my old data? So it's not uncommon for data sets to not be easily transferred into other systems, right? So database from McLeod or MercuryGate or any of these big legacy providers might not match the database of 3PL systems TMS, right? So that whole, do we want to lose this? Do we want to retain it? How hard is it to retain it? All these issues are prevalent. And then you got people that say, I want to host everything on my own server, which that's a whole nother conversation.
That is a whole other conversation. Yes.
I don't trust it on the cloud. What is the cloud anyways? And I'm like, listen,
your bank's on the cloud.
Someone's going to replace you in 5 years anyways. I'll talk to your predecessor. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I get it. So let's go back to that for a second because what's up, Cameron? Good to see you, buddy.
Hey, man.
But let's go back to those real quick. So there's a data migration, and then there is a training question mark. How do you guys tackle that? How do you overcome that? How do you address that? Maybe is the best way to say that when those are the concerns.
Yeah. So one of my favorite parts about what we do over here is that the platform is easy to use. It makes that part of the sell a lot easier. So look, let me show you a quick demo. Let me give you a login, play around with it for a few days. Inevitably, those people are going to come back and say, dude, you're right. I actually could see training my people on this in like a week. This wouldn't be that difficult. And so making the system easy to use, I think, has been the biggest way that we've addressed that. Yeah. And look, TMSs can be intuitive, but you need training. You need training no matter what. TMSs are big. They do a lot. So we also include training with all of our implementations. I'll have people that say, well, I don't need training. We won't even take the deal at that point, right? We will know you're either going to pay for training or you're not going to use the system because we know 2, 3, 4 months down the road, it's going to blow up in our face, right?
Yeah.
And so we do that. And then the data migration, we've done a good job building out templates that match our database. A lot of that work is dependent on the customer because we are not familiar with their current provider's database. There's not much we can do there besides say, here's a format, drag and drop everything into these columns so it matches our database, then we'll upload it for you, right? So we do a lot of work up front and implement the right way because that's the hardest time and it's the easiest time to lose a client is during implementation.
Yeah. I think implementation and training, adoption of the technology is, or lack thereof, or poor processes is the main reason that people don't end up using technology long term,
Oh yeah,
because they just don't feel comfortable on it. And they, like, well, I want to go back to the old way. Even if the old way was bad, it was comfortable,
yeah,
it was known, right? The devil
yeah,
is sometimes better than when you don't, as they say.
sure,
And so, that's so critical to have that down and make sure the processes are good in there. But it's so worth it too, because you get to an easy system, more efficiency, and like you said, that bottom line, hey, we're not losing revenue. There's a lot of great technology out there right now that is addressing that problem. Automated pricing tools with AVRL and green screens and so many other tools out there that are working with TMSs to then just speed these things up and make that lost revenue kind of go away, where you start to capture it now. And that's, I
yeah,
just love that about technology, making things much more efficient. So it's really, really cool to see
yeah.
that. All right, we
I
got
think
to
you brought
pause
up
for a
it. You
second.
brought up
Yeah,
it.
go ahead. Go
Oh,
ahead.
go
Finish
ahead.
that up. No,
Yeah,
finish up, and then we got to
I
pause.
think you
Yeah.
brought up an interesting point. There's so many people in the freight tech space that are doing so many cool things right now, and I think one of the things that we focus on over here at 3PL Systems is, can we play nice in the sandbox with everybody? And that is one of the things we lead with, because a lot of people don't play nice, right?
Right.
Look, you're good at that. You're good at this. Let's pull everything into the TMS, which is the cornerstone. Like you said, we don't have to do everything. That's okay. But we need to partner with everybody and have a system that's API native, that is designed to integrate, not, again, like a legacy platform that is bolted on to integrate. It's designed from the ground up to actually integrate so many cool people doing so many cool things that we can take advantage of and kind of grow together,
Yeah.
which is a fun thing.
It is, and you've got TMSs that try to be all things to all people, and I just don't think you can be great at that, to
No,
do that. But then you have other systems that can't connect with some of these new platforms,
sure.
and that's also going to be a hindrance as well. So playing nice in the sandbox really is the way of the future, because I just don't see one system winning in every phase of a
No.
brokerage transaction. It's just not going to happen. So I love your philosophy. I love you guys are headed at that. Very cool stuff. And we're going to see, you guys are going to be at Technovation. So we'll get to see you guys
Yeah.
down there, get to see a lot of cool technologies and ones that you guys are partnering with on integrations and things like that. So really looking forward to that. It's going to be a lot of fun. All right, Michael, we got to pause because we have some fun segments that we like to do every day. Did you know that, every day is a national day. There's some sort of national celebration. Do you know what today's national day is?
I do not.
You might like this one, being from Southern California. You might like this one. It is National Greasy Food Day, and I know that In-N-Out Burger is big in Southern California. That place is greasy. The one time I've been there, and I've only been once, that place was greasy.
So
Are you a
fun
greasy
fact,
food guy? Sorry, go ahead.
No, yeah, greasy food's good. I try to avoid it because I'm, in my mid
But it
30s
is
now,
good.
and my body can't handle it the way that I used to when I was in college, right?
Nope.
But yeah, it's good. So fun fact though, the building that we're in right now is In-N-Out's corporate headquarters.
Really?
And yeah, it's a 10-floor building. They own, I want to say, 6 or 7 floors. And
Do they hand out some coupons from time to time to the tenants? Do they come around and give you some free meals? Come on. In-N-Out Burger, let's go.
They have a couple times, and they have like events where it like screws up our parking, and so they like anyone else gets free meals. All of their employees get a free meal every single day. I know they don't eat it every single day, but every day when we get in the elevators and come up and down, inevitably it smells like French fries and hamburgers because the corporate location is here. So it's kind of cool.
That's cool. Well, I'm excited to get out and see you guys out there. And when I'm out there, I'm going to be knocking on their doors like, hey, I know there's fries in here. What's going on? Let's hook this thing up. Let's get this done, which is so critical. Yeah. So I'm with you. I like greasy food, but man, it just sticks. It is just really, really brutal. So those are the comments. What's your favorite greasy food out there? And what are you going to have today? Brad says White Castle's best greasy food. White Castles are, you got it.
In-N-Out's better than White Castle.
Well, White Castle, you can have like 20 of them. Maybe that's the draw, is you can just eat them until you're sick. I don't know. But White Castle, Brad, are there White Castles in St. Louis? He's a St. Louis guy. So I'm going to have to ask him if there's, I haven't seen White Castle where I live in years. So haven't been to that, but I'm a greasy burger guy as well. I like, so Five Guys has a pretty good greasy burger.
Yeah.
Not too bad. I like those. So Sonic has got a really good greasy burger. Yeah, they are. That's true. Sonic has a decent one as well. So yeah, I'm gonna have to get out there and hit up In-N-Out when I'm out there with you guys. That'll be a lot of fun. All right. Also, my friend, we have the random question of the day. Now listen, this is a random, I don't even know what it is. I haven't seen it yet. We let our producer do this every day. Sometimes it's funny, sometimes it's serious, sometimes it's a good question, sometimes it's a terrible question. I'm not gonna lie. But we're gonna go ahead and see what it is. The random question of the day is, When is the last time you experienced nostalgia? Oh,
Wow.
okay.
Good question. Oh
I've got
man,
one
let
if
me
you're
think
not
about
ready.
that.
I've got one if
No,
you're not ready.
I've got a good one. So, not this past weekend, but the weekend before. So let's say 10 days ago, I reffed my daughter's soccer game, my AYSO soccer game. I grew up playing soccer my whole life. And, you know, my daughter, not that I want to push my kids to do what I did, but I was excited that my daughter was playing soccer and they needed volunteers for referees so that they could play the game. And so I volunteered, tried not to ref as many games as I could, made it about halfway through the season until the other referees couldn't make it. And so I ended up, you know, fully suited up and reffing my daughter's soccer game. And I'll send you a picture afterward, Trey.
Please do, yeah.
You know, life comes full circle, and it's just really cool to be. You're a dad. You'll understand exactly what I'm saying. It's really cool to be on the other side and witness your own life experiences that you had through your children's eyes and see them go through the same thing, but also be in a position to absorb it differently. Super cool. That was very nostalgic.
Yeah. I can imagine that is cool. My kids, unfortunately, have decided that baseball and golf are not for them yet. Or I'm sorry, basketball and golf are not for them yet. We did try softball. That did not go very well. I've got dancers and singers in my family, so musicians and cooks and bakers and horseback riders. That's kind of who we are. So I don't get to experience that exactly, but that is a cool feeling when you see your kids really kind of find what they want to do and get them to experience going through learning new things and all that kind of stuff. It's a really cool moment. For me, the nostalgia I experienced recently was I went back to my alma mater, William Jewell College, which is in Kansas City. I was in town for a Sethmar event and some other things there, and they were having homecoming. And so I'm like, well, I'm just going to go to homecoming. And I ended up running into the starting two guard on our team, our basketball team. So I was a freshman point guard, backup point guard. He was our starting two guard. He was there. And we had, you know, it's just like jumped right back into, you know, 25 years ago, which was when we played together. And we were talking about coach, we were talking about different games and, you know, going to the national championship. We made it to the Final Four in NAI, which was a phenomenal experience, like a really
super cool
experience. We didn't win. We lost to the eventual champion, Bethel College from Indiana, in the semifinal game. But it was cool. I mean, it was such an amazing experience. And so I got to see him, and it was almost like being back in college just for a minute. I know I don't look like a college kid anymore, but you're just walking on campus.
You do with the hair.
I'm working on it. But you know, we were walking the campus, and it was just one of those things where it just kind of felt like I just remembered walking the campus. I remember being a student there. I went up on the quad and I walked around. I just remember walking to class. I remember, you know, the sunny days sitting out and throwing the Frisbee around and, you know, doing homework on the quad on the lawn. Like it was a cool kind of memory for me,
cool
to experience that, because I hadn't been back in years. I mean, it's been a long time.
Sure.
So it was neat to be back there and watch the football game. We lost, so nothing changed. Everything was the same. So it was good to be back. Hey, listen, I want to jump back on this. So Scott mentioned something real quick. He said, I'm glad you asked the implementation and training question. Always good to hear how others do it. And he's a sales training manager up at Armstrong, good friend of mine. He's on Word on the Street every week. And it's good to hear that. But I'm telling you, implementation and training is really, to me, the crux of technology.
So hard.
That is the most important aspect of any sale, because without it, you know, you might not have a customer very long.
It's so hard. It's so hard. I mean, that's how you set the tone for the whole relationship, right?
Yeah.
You know, in the sales portion, of course, you're going to give them all the warm and fuzzies, and they're going to have all the great feelings about you. They're going to be super excited. And if you don't continue that feeling and momentum during implementation, I mean, they're quick to leave, right? I'm going to get out now while I can, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's a lot of trouble with that, which is critical.
You know, those handoffs and giving them the same level of care when they move from sales into implementation and onboarding, and also ongoing support. I mean, all of these pieces fit together, right?
Yeah.
And if there's a break in the chain anywhere, all the work that product did to build a product for marketing and sales to market and sell falls on its face, and then everybody loses, right? So it's a cohesive effort. And, you know, I made a post the other day that you on LinkedIn that you commented on. It's like, you know, whether or not people want to realize it's everyone's in sales. Everyone. I know you said marketing and sales is one department, but like everything is sales. And I think the sooner that people realize that, the better off people will be. I'm biased because I'm in sales, of course, right?
But no, it's true, right? If you're an implementation manager, you're selling them on this product again to use it. If you're an ops, if you're a customer service rep, like every time you touch the customer, you're selling them again on what you do and building that brand. So it's really critical. And we didn't even get to talk about some of the other things we want to talk about. We were going to talk confidence and some other stuff. I gotta have to have you back on the show, man. We're gonna have you come back on and talk more about sales. Hope you'll come back and see us again real soon, man.
Sure.
I mean, you'll have to.
Thanks, Trey.
So you'll have to come back and see us. But everybody else that's out there, make sure you come back tomorrow. Got a great episode with my friend Nathan Masirian. He is an SEO genius. You guys are going to love it. It's going to be awesome. I'm going to be coming to you live from Phoenix. I'll be there tomorrow recording live the rest of the week. So make sure you check us out at 10:30 every day for episode of Standing Out, daily podcast about sales, marketing, leadership. Scott, quit commenting. The show's over, man. We're moving on. Everybody have a wonderful day out there. We'll see you. Thanks, Mike. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Trey. See ya.